Hello and welcome to this yoga for mobility class. Now, mobility is something that we maybe talk about more with regards to older people, but it's something that we should all be concerned with, especially with our increasingly sedentary modern lifestyles where we don't move around as often as we should do. And our body adapts to the movements that we make with it. So if we have quite a sedentary lifestyle, then over time our body will become less and less mobile, will have less range of movement, we'll find moving more difficult. So it's something that we need to make space for in our lives. And I prefer to use the word mobility rather than flexibility, because flexibility to me just suggests making our muscles more flexible without really thinking about the ways in which we move our body in everyday life, which is more what I am interested in. We're not interested in being flexible for the sake of being flexible. We're interested in improving our mobility and our range of movement so that it serves us in our everyday lives. So for this class, you just need yourself in comfortable clothing, a yoga mat if you have one, otherwise an area of carpeted floor, something to sit on. I've got a bolster here, but maybe a cushion or even a chair. And we're also going to need today a belt. Now this is a proper yoga belt, but you could use something like a dressing gown belt, anything that you've got available that will do the job, that is fairly long like this. Okay, so we won't be using that till more towards the end of the class, so we can just put that to the side. And yeah, so we're just going to be putting our body through a full range of motion, but as always, listening to your body, not doing anything that hurts, not doing anything that feels uncomfortable. The movement that we make in this class should be enjoyable. It should feel nice. It should feel good. We all know that moving around helps to make us feel better. So we will get started. I'm going to, first of all, just come and take a seat on my bolster, on my mat, to take a moment to check in with myself and see how I'm doing. So I invite you to do the same thing. I'm sitting cross-legged, but if that's not comfortable for you, then just sitting in any position that is comfortable for you. As I say, you could even sit on a chair if that is better for you. And as I say, we're just going to spend a few moments noticing what's going on for us and taking time to start to focus our minds, start to leave the rest of our life, the outside world, behind for the duration of our practice. So finding that comfortable seated position for you. And if you are comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to do so now, because it just helps to draw our focus, our attention inwards, stops it from wandering around the room. If that's not comfortable for you, or that doesn't feel okay for you right now, then see if you can soften your gaze and keep your gaze steady. So maybe looking just down at the floor in front of you. Just taking a moment to settle here. Let's start by noticing our body in contact with the surface that we're sitting on, be that the mat or your cushion or chair. Just notice the sensation of pressure against your body, where it is in contact. And allow that sensation to start to ground you, start to settle you. And then draw your attention to the way that you are sitting, to your spine, to your posture. And gently lengthen your spine, drawing yourself up tall, but without becoming rigid, without trying too hard, just gently. Gently lengthen the back of your neck, slightly drawing your chin in. Now draw your attention to your shoulders. This is a common area where we tend to hold a bit of tension. So just notice if that is the case for you, and see if you can invite your shoulders to soften, to release. And the same with your hands. Notice your hands, wherever you naturally placed them. Consciously place them so that they're comfortable and relaxed. And then bringing your attention to your face. Again, it's common to hold a little tension in the jaw, maybe in the forehead. So inviting your jaw and your tongue to soften, your forehead to soften. And take a moment now to notice how you are feeling as we begin our session. Trying to do so with kindness towards yourself, not with criticism or judgment. Simply being curious and interested. How does your body feel? What's going on in your mind? What emotions are you feeling? And now, seeing if you can bring your attention to your breath. Your natural breath, not trying to change or control it. Simply noticing the sensation of breathing. Notice where your attention is drawn to on your breath. Is it drawn maybe to the air going in and out of your nostrils? Maybe it's the movement of your body as you breathe in and breathe out. How does your breath feel? Now see if you can follow your breath all the way in and all the way out. Noticing the sensation of the air entering your nostrils, the feeling of it passing down your throat, the movement of your body as your lungs fill with air, and then following that journey back out again. And know that when your attention starts to wander in our session, as it will do, that's what our mind does. It tends to wander around. That you can bring your attention back to your breath. Just gently guide it back to your breath, back to your body, the movements that we're making, the sensations that you're feeling. Okay, so we're going to begin our session. Before we start our asana practice, our movement practice, we're just going to chant the Om sound 3 times. This just helps to bring focus to our mind and helps to start calming our nervous system. The vibrations we create in our body when we make this sound help to stimulate our vagus nerve, helps to increase our body's natural production of nitric oxide, which helps to widen airways and blood vessels. So don't worry about sounding tuneful. You're at home, no one can hear you. Just concentrate on making those vibrations through your body, creating a nice strong sound. You can either bring your hands into Anjali Mudra or Chin Mudra with the thumb and the first finger joined, the palms facing up, or just simply rest your hands in your lap, whatever works better for you. Just taking a gentle inhalation first. Okay, so for our first practice, I invite you to keep your eyes closed, or at least your gaze softened and steady. When we keep our eyes closed, it keeps our attention focused inwards. And also this first practice is just about moving your body in a way that feels good for you. So it means that you'll be less influenced by what I am doing, how I am moving. It might give you an idea of ways that you can start to move, but I would like you to move just in a way that feels good for you. So we're going to stay sitting on our pillow or our bolster or our chair, wherever we are seated. I'm just going to start to move around, start to loosen off. Maybe you might want to even take a stretch like you would do in the morning when you're waking up. Roll your shoulders maybe. Notice any areas of tension or tightness that you would like to start to loosen off. As I say, this class, it's really has an emphasis on just moving in a way that feels good, that feels nice. Okay, and then just coming back to stillness once more and taking a moment to notice the effects of having started to bring some movement into our body. Now, we're going to remain seated, but if you're sitting on a cushion or a bolster or a chair, now just coming to sit on directly on the mat, and we're going to bring our feet a little bit wider. Now, they might not be as wide as mine, they might be more about here, whatever is comfortable for you. Listen to your body, don't push yourself too hard. As I say, it should feel good and comfortable. And again, once more, we're just going to move the upper body around a little bit. And just notice how that feels maybe a little bit different now that we've got this our legs in this position. And then just going to see if we can walk our hands forward a little. Again, it might not be far, it might just be a short distance, and then back up again. And coming down one leg, sliding your hands down one leg. Again, you might not be coming all the way down like this. It might just be more to like here, just exploring your range of motion here. And coming up, sliding down the other leg. Just keep on moving at your pace. Maybe you might find that each time you slide down, you might start to loosen off a little bit and be able to slide a little bit further. But again, it doesn't matter how far you go. It's just about getting our body moving. And then maybe sliding down one leg, walking your hands over to the other foot and sliding back up. Sliding back down that leg, walking your hands over to the other foot, and sliding back up. Just doing that a couple more times.